Hotspots for gender-based violence cases in the region. Now, the cases have been blamed on harsh economic times, mental illness and substance abuse. This comes during the 16th day of activism against GBV.
Nowadays, when you go to a church,
the 16 days gender-based violence summit opened at Naivasha shedded light on the plight of the Naivasha floor estate workers, where major cases of GBV have been reported, with a recent research indicating that at least 4 workers in the informal settlement suffering sexual harassment and domestic violence weekly. This attributed to the harsh economic times, mental illness and substance abuse.
Issues of gender-based violence has been so rampant. We have been receiving at most in every week we have been receiving 3 or 4 cases, mostly domestic violence and also defilement. Defilement cases has been on rise, and also domestic violence.
Kennedy's remarks were reiterated by Richard Mudini from FIDA, who said that they are on the run to eliminate GBV, adding that the most vulnerable in the community were the most adversely affected.
Prevention and elimination of GBV is our role. We cannot eliminate GBV minus collaborating with the community at the grassroots level, as they are the vulnerable groups. We chose Kyoto because Kyoto and at large Naivasha prevails as the most prevalent area that has all forms of GBV, running all the way from domestic violence, talking of child molestation, talking of defilement, talking of early and teenage pregnancies that are very rampant in this area. Our objective for today and for these 16 days, we want to create and sensitize this community. We want to create the awareness.
Persons living with disability have been reported to be the most affected by GBV, adding that many, due to their nature of disability, could not defend themselves, while Maela MCA Jen Gituko, on her side, noted that poverty and unemployment had played a role in the high cases of defilement and child abuse in her ward, adding that 100 of men were silently suffering, noting that it's time for them to combine efforts and come out to speak to the masses to garner support.
People with disabilities are normally a forgotten lot, and even with their rights, hawajui rights zao. If you take a deaf person going to seek justice for sexual-based violence in our country, if you go to the gender desk, you'll never find a sign language interpreter. So what does that tell you? That that person in themselves hawatapata haki kwa sababu hatuelewani.
We are activating our people to create a platform to come out and say, yes, this is happening, and we're also giving them direction as to what they are supposed to do when these things happen. We don't want to bring a case scenario whereby you go reporting this particular issue and then you are taunted in whichever way that it has occurred. Remember, gender violence is for even men. We have men who have also been suffering quietly.
Wigan Lemeguran, Look Up TV.